Hello everyone, I'm Santiago, and today I'm going to be playing Lego Batman Legacy of the Dark Knight on the Steam Deck. Thanks to Warner Bros. Games for providing a code of the game. I wanted to actually play this game when it came out, but I didn't have a chance. But I'm excited for this one because it's basically Batman Arkham, but with Batman, the Lego Batman, basically. Batman Arkham, but Lego. I don't think there's anything wrong with that, considering we haven't gotten a game like that since Arkham Knight. So yeah, TT Games, they used to have their own proprietary engine, now they use UE5. The requirements had me very worried because they were recommending stuff with frame generation on, like 60 frames with frame gen on, 30 frames with frame gen on. So it's verified, so apparently it works okay, but I do not trust the verified system. But apparently it goes well, so let's give it a shot. Okay, video. By default, we're at 800p, 50% upscaling, so FSR performance. This is basically 400p. And the settings is everything on the absolute lowest settings. I'm pretty sure we can do a little bit better than this, but it's good to know how it's set up by default. Oh, and ambient occlusion is enabled. Okay, let me disable motion blur and the camera shake. Not a fan of that. But hey, usually when UE5 games, I play them on Steam Deck sometimes because I hate myself. I get 30 frames with these settings. And I want to thank Instant Gaming for sponsoring this video. Instant Gaming is a website to get cheaper games for PC, PlayStation, Xbox and Nintendo Switch, and the latest games and some of the older games for a cheaper price than on Steam. My personal picks, at least for the game we're playing today, is Lego Batman Legacy of the Dark Knight for $49.39 for the standard edition. If you want the deluxe edition, it's $63.17. Another pick of mine will be Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. It's been discounted quite heavily here for $35.28. And there's also a giveaway, don't forget, from Instant Gaming that we do together to one of you guys, so register, hitting participate. And thanks again to Instant Gaming for sponsoring this video. Let's continue. So I'm going to do medium. Lighting quality is the number of lights. Meh, shadows low, view distance, we can crank this up, streaming as well, textures we keep them on low. Then isotropic filtering, material quality on medium is fine. I think we can increase this one, but I'm not going to do it. Lego mesh quality, level of quality of the meshes that are loaded. Medium is fine. Effects, volumetrics and stuff, particle lighting, shouldn't be a problem. Medium reflections gives you screen space. Post-processing is fine on medium. Population quality, this needs to be on low because you're driving and people are going to pop up on screen. And yeah, I think that's it. That should do it. So something like this. Balance XeSS with 800p. And okay, we'll lock the GPU clock to 1100, so we get some CPU power to spare. We give the CPU some breathing room, better said. Lock to 30 from the SteamOS setting. Yeah, boy, the CPU going through the edge of its life. But with that GPU clock at 1100, the frame time stays decently consistent, in my opinion, especially when not driving. We lock the GPU clock so it doesn't fluctuate, because we have 15 watts to work with. The CPU has to share between CPU and GPU, and that makes it go up and down, which in a UE5 game that really has excessive use of the CPU because it's streaming assets, it helps to lock the GPU clock, but we get power away from the CPU.
Great.
But I think this is decent enough. It was BS that UE5 was giving Switch to Lumen Lite. It's like Epic giving a middle finger to the other handheld PCs. That's probably going to be ported over. It's still UE5. On Steam Deck right now, I would say it's a yes to me. All things considered. I have to play it more, of course. But first impressions are great. GG. It actually runs better than I expected. And it doesn't look bad. It's just when you're driving, well... Oh, I cannot... Okay, I cannot fly yet. The thing again is when driving that the CPU kinda dies. But as long as you keep the shadows and lighting on low, you're good to go. It's into the upper 20s. But again, we're streaming the world very quickly. Alright, so handheld mode. I'll show you the settings super quick. XeSS balanced. Basically a mix of medium and low. Just the classic. And personally don't like motion blur, that's why it's off, but you have a good amount of options in my opinion. Then when it comes to the quick access menu, it's pretty simple. You just lock it to 30 FPS, right from here. Manual GPU clock of 1100 MHz, and that's basically it. Okay, so welcome back to the game. Now in handheld mode, you can see power usage, you can see what it looks like on the smaller screen. Again, GPU clock locked to 1100. But again, that's still not enough from when traversing like this. It's a lot more stable, don't get me wrong, but it's still a lot for the streaming of all the assets. I mean, a bigger part of Gotham. And yeah, it's not great when driving, especially very quickly. Then when you're out of driving and this part loads, it becomes way more stable. But again, a big part of this game is about traversal. You can also fly around like in Arkham Knight. And Arkham Knight is an Unreal Engine 3 game. This is Unreal Engine 5, albeit it's a custom UE3, heavily customized. That's why it looks so good. But this one has ray tracing, Lumen Nanite, I think it also has. It's more demanding when it comes to just baseline engine. And being a Lego game, I think there's no excuse to have this kind of performance. I mean, sure, it looks good, whatever. Materials are pretty accurate in general. There's a lot more light sources than in Arkham Knight. But Arkham Knight runs so much better while still looking great. Of course, materials, textures, lighting is less complex. But I don't know, it just doesn't feel right that this game runs the way it does. Maybe they didn't need to use Unreal Engine 5, I don't know. I leave that judgment up to you guys. But with 1100, when flying, it's okay-ish, but as soon as you get into a more complex environment like this one, it really falls apart. I don't think this should be verified, personally. Battery life, basically 2 hours on the OLED Steam Deck. Let's get down here. So yeah, even if you put it at the lowest settings, it's going to have trouble because CPU limitation. The game is fun, don't get me wrong. I love having an Arkham game after 10 years. 10 years? No, more. 12 years? It's a fun game. The thing is, it gets demanding very quickly once you get to Gotham. And now that we're here fighting, I can actually show you split screen, because yes, this game does have split screen. So let me plug in a controller. So yeah, let's point at the same direction. And let's also get into a car. So let's take Gordon's car. And let's put Batman heading right into it. And this will be the absolute biggest stress test that I can do for the game. So let's boost. Oof, yeah, it drops into the low 20s. That's crazy. Okay, so we got Batman over there, looking at the bad guys. And here comes Gordon. Yeah, when you're not driving, it's okay. The thing is, as soon as you traverse, which is, again, a big deal in this game, it's an open world, it falls apart, especially with split screen. I recommend Lego Batman Legacy of the Dark Knight on Steam Deck. I mean, if you don't mind the drops in performance when traversing, especially with the car, it's decent enough, it's playable. So I don't think it should be verified. I think playable would be a more honest analysis to it. The default settings, I don't like them. The default settings actually have performance FSR, which is an even lower resolution, have an unlocked GPU clock. That means that you're going to stutter way more than I'm doing right now, even when traversing. So take that as you will. So I think it's disingenuous. I mean, come on, it's an Unreal Engine 5 game. It was expected. You can play other Batman Arkham games on the Steam Deck that run a lot better because there are UE3, a custom UE3. But again, I cannot justify the performance in a Lego game like this. I know, again, that it's UE5 is complex in comparison to the others, but I don't know, it just doesn't feel right to me. But again, playable, yeah, I think so. The thing is, it drops pretty hard when traversing, which is a big thing in this game. I mean, just look at this. It drops crazily low. And again, it's a CPU limitation. If the CPU was stronger, or we had more power than 15 watts available, we should be good. We're also memory constrained, but even if you go at the lowest settings, it still has issues maintaining 30 frames. So anyway guys, that's it for now. I hope you enjoyed this video as much as I did checking yet another UE5 game that is verified on Steam Deck. I hope you enjoyed. And thanks again to Warner Bros. Games for providing a code of the game. See you next time!